Hey everybody, it's Dusty Martin with Platinum Living Realty. Just stopping in to give you the market update for Cave Creek, Arizona for the month of August. It's currently September 9th, and I'm happy to dive deep into the numbers with you. All right, so let's jump right into it. A lot of things have been going on in the Cave Creek market. I've even seen other agents asking online in agent forums about what's going on in Cave Creek. I don't seem to be able to get the same traffic I would in the price range I'm looking at. I'm not sure what's going on. There's currently a lot of things going on. As some of you may know, and I talk about a lot, the market is shifting. We're in a transition phase, and a lot of people really haven't caught on to yet, unless you listen to me on the regular. So before I go on any more about that, let me just get to it. So our active listings in Cave Creek are actually down 5.5% over last year. There's currently there's currently only 205 active listings in all of Cave Creek. And for those of you who don't know, Cave Creek is actually really just has the one zip code, and it's 85331. It's just a couple blocks from my house. We're actually where I am at in North Scottsdale. It's really, you cross the street, you're in Cave Creek, and so the demographics are a lot alike, and there's a lot of horse properties. There are still some planned subdivisions and things like that, but it's more of a small town kind of rural feel out here. Our sold listings are actually down 18.2%, and our sold listings for the whole month of August was actually only 63. Last year it was 77. So not only are our listings down, but so are our sold listings. Our median sale price per square foot is still up 6.1%, meaning people are still tending to price their homes a little higher, having not gotten the memo that the market is shifting a little bit. So our current median price per square foot is $209 per square foot and a penny. Last year it was $196.96 over last year. The really interesting thing right now is that our months of supply is actually up 15.5%. So this time last year, we were only at 2.82 months of supply, meaning we were in a pretty hot seller's market. Now we're at 3.25, and that is still considered a seller's market, but remember, if you've seen my other videos where I discuss what's a seller's market versus a buyer's market, anything 4 months or less is going to be a seller's market. Anything 4 months to 7 months is going to be kind of even. And then anything 8 months to 8 months or more is going to be a buyer's market. So overall, as a whole, for Cave Creek and 85331, we're looking at 3.25 months supply, meaning how much inventory, if all the homes, if no new homes came on the market, how long would this inventory last us? So we're creeping towards that 4-month mark, pretty much right on where I've predicted all this year. But the good news is it's still a seller's market, but it is still starting to even out a lot for a lot of the buyers, which is great news for everybody. Buyers are happy when the playing field's a little more even, but sellers are still getting more for their home. It's just, if the comps are here, you price maybe here as opposed to here. So that's just something to keep in mind of. And like I've said before, if you are interviewing agents to list your home, one of the best ways you can gauge if that agent knows how to price your home is if they know how to calculate the month supply and what month supply means. So there's a big difference between an agent who knows how to calculate those numbers for your specific neighborhood versus one who's going by the word of mouth, what they see on the news, what they heard from another agent, and the secondhand information. You really want somebody who knows how to dive deep and crunch those numbers for you. The other thing that is down though is the median days on market is actually down 18%, meaning if your home is still priced appropriately, it is going to sell, and it's going to sell pretty quickly. So our median days on market right now is 50 days. So anything 90 days is considered kind of even, stable. We're at 50, so anything less than that is still, a pretty hot housing market that you're going to see continue over the next couple months, I think. We're just going to have a more return to a normal economy and a normal market, as opposed to the highs and the lows that we've seen in the last decade. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. The next thing I did is I broke down supply and demand by price point this month. So one of the things, I've got my notes in front of me here. One of the things I have noticed is that there are some big breaks in price ranges in Cave Creek and even all of the North Valley right now. And that's another thing I'm seeing a lot of agents not really kind of, and to be honest, and their clients have not really seen a lot now. And a lot of these are numbers you're not going to see on the nightly news. Basically, if it bleeds, it leads. And so therefore, numbers aren't sexy. The truth isn't always sexy. So it's not going to be on the local news. But what we're seeing in Cave Creek is that they're between the $200,000 to $300,000 range. There's a 2-month supply, which is lightning fast. So in other words, you put it on the market, in a matter of weeks you've got an offer, and in 30 days later you're closed. So that's really great. The entry-level market for Cave Creek is really right about the 300 mark, and anybody trying to get in under that is having a lot of competition. And then there's almost no inventory under the $200,000 mark. There's almost nothing. So that's one thing to keep in mind, especially if your home is in the 200 to 300 range, whether it's a single family home, condo, townhouse, doesn't really matter there. The next bracket is the 300 to 500 range, and that has a less than 2 months supply. And that's really the sweet spot. There are so many people that want to be out here, but the majority of the buyers are really between the 300 and 500 mark. And so a lot of people in a lot of the more desirable neighborhoods in Cave Creek, 350 is like the minimum entry level that they can hope to get for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Especially like if you live in Tatum Ranch, for example. That's kind of like the barrier right there, is that 350 range, give or take a little bit. And then after $500,000, there's less buyers, so things change. So from the 500 to 700 mark, there's roughly about a 3-month supply, but they're creeping. They're almost towards the 4-month mark, which is where things start to even out for buyers and sellers and kind of evil the playing field a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind. They're literally right about 3 months, almost 4 months. And then the 700 to a million is actually at a 7-month supply. That's gone up. So that's something to keep in mind, because we do have a lot of high dollar, large properties in Cave Creek, a lot of horse properties, a lot of custom homes on 3/4 of an acre, a full acre, or even more. And so that's something to keep in mind. If your home is in that $700,000 to $1 million range, you're looking at about a 7-month supply of inventory. And so for you, it's still pretty even, but it's trending towards a buyer's market, and I think it's going to continue to go to a buyer's market. So it would be really imperative, if you're in that price range, to make sure that you're pricing your homes just at or even just below whatever the comps are. And then from the $1 to $3 million range, there's almost a 14-month supply of inventory, which is crazy to think of taking over a year to sell your home. But that's currently where the supply is, but not a whole lot of demand. So if you're getting ready to sell a home in that price range, the $1 to $3 million range, you're going to want to make sure that your home is the prettiest one on the block, that it has the prettiest price, and by that I mean price it below the comps, for as high as you can get away with your payoff needs and such, but not too high just because you've got so much more competition there. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But right now, the vast majority of sales in Cave Creek are happening in the 300 to 500 range. So that's really important to keep in mind, especially if you're looking to sell one of those homes in one of those neighborhoods that's really geared towards families. We have such a great school system out here that people like to get in there, and it's very tough to do so. It's also much closer than other parts of Cave Creek to the freeways, to shopping, to dining, all of that. So you're really kind of in the sweet spot. If you're somewhere in the 300 to 500 range, you're really sitting pretty. You're in a seller's market. But if you're over that $500,000 mark, you're actually trending more towards a seller's market. And then, like I said, the 1 to 3 million price range is getting is hurting already. They're at 14 months supply. So keep that in mind, you guys. As always, if you are having any thoughts of buying or selling in Scottsdale, Cave Creek, or Carefree, give me a call. Or if you know anyone who is, have them call me at 480-717-9405. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next month with another market report. Have a great day. Bye.